What's up? I'm Mike, N2MAK, and I had a viewer recently send me an email asking how I do 900 megahertz. Well, I'm glad you asked. Stay tuned and I'll show you how. And we're back. I am at Bear Hill. Today is Saturday, June 13th. It's the ARRL's June VHF contest, and I've had a blast making contacts up here on a whole bunch of bands, including 900 megahertz, 33 centimeters.
A lot of pulse noise here on the band.
There he is.
N2MAK, KA2ENE.
KA2ENE, N2MAK, FN12, QSL, Harry?
Solid signal.
Nice.
Mike. Copy the FN12. Please copy FN13.
He's coming in at S5. QSL, Roger. And so a viewer asked me, how do I operate 900 megahertz? Because they actually came into some old Motorola HTs and stuff. Well, I'm not familiar with the Motorola's. Let me show you what I have and how I make it work. So we'll start with the radio first. This is the Alinco. It's the DJ-G29. I call it the quirkiest radio that there is. It's dual band and it'll do 900 megahertz and 220 megahertz. So the 33 centimeter and the 1.25 meter bands. It's pretty much unobtainium. I got lucky. A club member had a couple and was selling. So I was able to pick them up. If you find one on eBay or QRZ or Hamfest or whatever, if you're interested in the high bands and VHF contesting, it's definitely a must-have. It's a fantastic HT. It's going to do 5 watts on 220, but it's only going to do 3 watts on 900 megahertz. That's where the antenna comes in. So this is a Yagi antenna. It is from DMS Wireless. It's model Yankee Alpha 90014. It's for 890 to 960 megahertz. I'm just reading right off there. 14 dBi gain. And we'd have to count the elements, but I think it's like around 14 or 15 elements or so. This antenna works great. It's going to turn 3 watts into more like 40, 45 watts ERP. You can do the maths. but yeah, now this is good. Now you'll notice the antenna is aiming or is orientated horizontal, but this HT is FM only. So why are we horizontal when FM is traditionally vertical? Good question. I'm glad I asked. The reason is because a lot of VHF contesters, serious ones, they're going to be running horizontal elements. That's just how it is. And so even if they're on FM, they're going to be horizontal more often than not. So cross-polarization is real, and it will cost you significantly if you don't pay attention. If I'm running vertical and someone else is running horizontal, we're looking at loss of anywhere from 15 to 30 dB. That's going to be 3 to 4 S units. That is a huge, substantial loss. And it's the ability to make or break, a contact, to be honest, especially with FM, like I'm doing from the HT, because of the threshold effect. FM signals are going to kind of go off a cliff. A lot like our LifePo batteries when they run out of juice. It's just boom. It's there 1 minute, then it's gone. Weak signal modes like CW or SSB, which is preferable to a lot of VHF contesters, those are going to fade linearly into the noise. And with a lot less noise on some of the higher bands, it's going to be easier to copy weak signals. So you need to pay attention to polarization. That's definitely an important consideration. And a lot of 900 megahertz radios, and either be HTs or mobiles, you're going to want to try to find a way to boost that power. And the best way to do so is a really good antenna. Now, good antenna, good radio, that's just part of the equation, okay? When you're operating on VHF and above, especially you get into UHF and even the microwave bands, loss is substantial with coax and adapters and other things that are inserted into the mix. So you want to be conscious of that. I've got RG8X. This is like a 3, maybe a 4 foot run. I can't remember. I'd have to double check. It might actually say so on there. 4 feet, because ABR labels. So shout out to ABR. This is custom made. It's got an end connector. This is going to be very, very common on higher bands. You even see it with things like Mesh-Tastic and Mesh Core end connectors. So end connector on one end, SMA on the other. SMAs are pretty common too when you get into some of the higher frequencies. So it is RG8X, but when you do the calculations for 4 feet of RG8X, which is like LMR 240 versus like an LMR 400 level, at 4 feet, there's not a substantial enough difference. And I'd prefer to have lightweight because I'm up on a SOTA summit, and I'd like to have that flexibility too, because I'm going to be using this handheld a lot and taking it portable a lot. So it's going to be easier to carry, easier to pack up, easier to move with, and everything. But you'll notice no adapters. I'm trying to minimize that because I want to minimize the loss. I want all 3 watts from this HT, or as many of those 3 watts, to make it here where I'm looking at, what was it, 14 dBi gain. So I want as much power to make it here and get out the other end. And so you want to be conscious of loss. And so good cable, the shortest cable you can get away with, as few adapters as you can get away with. That's going to be a major consideration, especially when you're operating portable. You will notice one last consideration to point out. The VFO is on 902.200, 902.200. 902.100, if you know the band plan, is going to be calling frequency for weak signal modes on 33 centimeters. So why 902.200? It's kind of unofficial for the club that I'm in. A lot of those operators like me that can only operate FM will do so there, where we're not going to interfere with some of the weak signal stations, because with an FM transceiver, I'm not going to hear anyone doing CW or sideband. You know, but I can interfere with them, and I could interfere and not know it. So it gives me enough space, but I'm lower in the band. Now, 927.500 up towards the upper end of the band is the calling frequency for FM on 33 centimeters. However, a lot of contesters, and it's the case in my area, they have their antennas and their stations tuned for the lower portion of the band, because serious contesters tend to prefer weak signal modes where you can get out further, less bandwidth, easier to copy in poor conditions. So 902.200 works well for me. It works well for others around here. And again, like I said, their stations are optimized for the lower portion of the band. And so it's legal to do FM there. Well, it might not be as common as it would be up at the higher end. These are unique situations where I'm out portable in the VHF contests and stuff. But anyway, that is it. If you got comments or questions, if you play on 900 megahertz, 33 centimeters, let me know in the comments down below. So I hope this is helpful. Thanks for watching. I'm Mike, N2MAK, and leave no band behind. 7-3.